Hold
Furudo, we
on.
can do that.
What's
Anyways,
yeah, I think that's fine. We've got a pretty big spread of rankings, I guess. We got diamond, we've got low diamond, we've got some guy in Masters 2, fucking loser. Yeah, that, yeah, I think that's pretty good. I wonder who that loser in Masters 2 is. Fucking sad person, man.
anyways,
Yeah.
welcome everyone to, I guess, Will Talk? It's not Will Talk.
Yeah,
It's,
well, we can start. This could be the pilot for Well Talk. I don't think it's a.
I mean,
We
it
Wait,
technically
is
can be.
Aksyong back? Keith.
Keith,
Keith.
Yeah,
he is here.
speak, my guy.
He is here.
Give
Okay.
us
I'm
the
here.
dish.
I'm here.
Anyways, before we start, please make sure your microphones are working, and please make sure your microphone is like up your face so that Discord doesn't cut out your beautiful voice.
Sorry, what's the microphone again?
Okay, I think we're
Yeah, I
ready.
am. Yeah.
Yeah, let's start. All right.
Sure,
So,
go for it.
please state your name for the record, and what's your spender status? And also include your social security number. Actually, no, don't. So yes.
How? Wait, but not. No, but what if you're not? I don't think anyone here has a
Yeah, I'm
social
joking.
security number. We're not all.
No, Asians don't have.
Who here has one? No one.
Nope.
There's
No one.
literally
Yeah.
no Americans here,
We have
so
no
we're
social
cool with that.
security.
Yeah.
We might need some American representation. Can we ping some Americans in?
Let's
Bruh.
bring in Korean mama and presents.
Yeah. That actually wouldn't be. That would not be a bad idea for the future.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
would be a good idea. I think.
All right. So shall we do it by admin status, and then us non-admin plebs can speak after?
I think you can do order. You can do order of Luvin's bar, right? So it'll start from Luvin and then go down to Carth, Val, Keith, and then me.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right. Hi. My name is Luvin, and I'm the person that's been doing all these little videos. You probably know me, and I am a dolphin. All right. Next up.
All right, hey guys, I'm Carthage. I am currently the number 45 ranked PvP player. I did a lot for it. I grinded for it, and I am currently a somewhat between a whale and a semi-large overfed kraken. Thank you.
All right. Hey guys. My name is 1310, and I'm kind of like an anchovies in the Sea of Whales. Anchovies as in we buy money pass and maybe sometimes like guarantee epic packs, but yeah.
Hey guys, I'm Aksyong. Well, I don't think I'm not a whale, but I spend on impulse. I don't really excel at the game. I just throw cash at the game and make it work. And I think this game needs a lot of fixing if they want to expect people to continuously throw cash at the game. Next up.
And I'm Zen. I'm one of the founders of WT Whisktakers, what you want to know it as. And I'd say I'm a shrimp. I don't really spend as much as the other whales in the guild, but I don't spend as little as the anchovies. There's a middle ground.
Basically a dolphin.
I did just buy 3 arena packs to go ham. So
That's not whaling. Come on, dude.
That's like
This is-
loose change.
this is foreplay.
That was your-
This is foreplay.
That was your coffee money for the day. It's
Basically.
okay.
Wow, £12 cost. That's my boba tea money.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go.
Also, there we go.
I guess we can start with the first topic. So, one of the first like issues that got mentioned, and one of the issues that I think is the most common, I guess, when it comes to like complaints in the official Discord feedback channel, is the poor game optimization. So, I would like to see what you guys think about that.
If I can start first.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
I speak about this from based on auto modes, so only generally the game is playing, doing the things for you, so no manual selection at all. If anyone were to play it, regardless whether it's in 30 FPS or 60 FPS, you would see that over time the game would actually get slower and slower. You can see that the frames are lagging badly, and in most games that that you have auto mode, it doesn't really matter whether it's lagging or not, because um, the packages, it's still being sent in a very optimized manner, and so there is generally no lags in between the cookie skills and how's the sequential order goes. Like in auto modes, it's always going from the right to the left, and whichever cookies goes first, it cooldowns first, it will just go in that order. But I realized that in this game, if let's say there is a lag, then there is a chance for the frame to skip, and it will jump your queue and skip to the next cookie. So in story mode or dark modes, in basically in any kinds of non-competitive modes, that's fine. But when it comes into arena, it's kind of a pain in the ass when you see that you're supposed to have this cookie going next, and because there is a slight lag, you can see it on your screen, and it skips that turn and causing you to lose the fight. I think that's just really peaceful optimization on their end. And if let's say you were to minimize the game and you do something else and you come back into the game, there's this chance that your game would suddenly just crash in the middle of nothing. I still don't know what triggers it. I've been trying to replicate it, but I can't seem to find a constant way of doing it. So that's my experience about some of the poor optimization that I experienced thus far, that really boy keep that really grinds my gear when I face it.
Yeah, that's fair. I like to say first off that I'd honestly agree with everything you just said, and also because I don't know how many of you guys use more AOE style area effect style cookies such as latte, espresso, black raisin, which I by the way is very broken right now. Just
Yeah.
a little heads up for anyone who's thinking about it.
Agreed.
So, so I think this is most prevalent in Arena because myself, I use all three of the aforementioned cookies, and when all of them casts go at the same time, the screen just becomes a 2 FPS unwatchable mess of a game.
Yep.
And this is not something that is a standalone event. I have seen this multiple times. I think the past week I've been just grinding Arena, and it's fairly repeatable. Like, I think every fighter, so it happens at around the 1 minute mark. And regarding to optimization as well, if you go in the game right now and you look at the community notice, there's always this two white boxes. It's like, come on, you guys are making so much goddamn money. How is it that your damn game cannot afford to get people to make the most basic of interface fixes? How? I really want to know. I really want to meet the people who designed this game. Just like, what are you guys doing? What are you being paid for? Sipping coffee? Oh my god, sorry. I got a little worked up there, but
No, it's fine. We're here to be mean. We're here to be a little bit mean. We're salty. So yeah.
very, very salty. But yeah, that's my take so far.
Yeah, I honestly I notice a lot of lag as well, especially during skill cast. I guess the frame drops, just it becomes like 2 FPS whenever a cookie casts their skill. It was worse before, but like post strawberry crepe update, I kind of feel like the lag has like gone down a little bit, but I don't think they ever addressed it. But then again, people are still experiencing a bunch of crashes, and these crashes actually cost a lot. When you look at like arena, you're losing like 7, 8, even 10 trophies. I've seen people lose 10 trophies because of a crash. And you see people losing guild battle attempts. You see people losing stamina. You see people just losing a bunch of stuff. But I feel like the arena and guild battle aspect is like the biggest loss. And especially like concerning frame drop and frame lag, as Aksyong said, it really makes a difference, especially in like arena. Like sometimes, in my case at least, sometimes Herb would get cancelled, sometimes Herb wouldn't, and it's all because of a frame lag. And sometimes Vamp doesn't cast fast enough because of a frame lag. Sometimes my team just gets absolutely wiped because no cookies are casting because of a frame lag. And I don't know, it seems to me that it's a very basic thing, especially for like a 2D game, just to like optimize so that frame lags don't happen this often. At least that's my take, especially when you look at like games like Genshin Impact, I guess. Sure, it heats your phone up, but you don't really experience lag. At least that's my take. So yeah.
Um, I guess for me, poor optimization and bugs and crashes and everything, that will happen. I think it's very plausible in every single game that comes out, every update. These things will happen. Coding is unpredictable, right? The issue for me is it's a consistency. It's an expectation now. We expect these things to happen. It's a running meme now that every update comes with an extended maintenance to the point where the last maintenance was 5 hours as opposed to three because they keep getting it wrong and having to push it back even further. And to me, that's just not quality control. The QA and their team is horrendously bad. I feel like the problem is what everyone else has said. Otherwise, they're not listening to the fans who can't play. Their sort of fix is buy a new phone, buy a new device to play the game on, and that's not your solution. Like, not everyone will run out and go buy a new phone just to play this game. Fundamentally, it's a very very simple game, which that's why I can't wrap my head around why it's so badly optimized. What's causing the lag? The game currently is 2.2 gigabytes in the store. You know, it's it's
Yeah.
a building game with a little bit of strategy. There's no real time battle in here. Everything is client side. It's not connected to the server to do anything. So what I mean by that is you do an attack in arena or the dragon, anything like that. You do an attack, it saves the attack and it uploads it to the server. That's how they log your input basically. That's really straightforward. That is very very bare minimum in terms of coding. It's not a real time battle where I'm battling like Carthage, who's sat on the other side, who's playing. Like there is no P2P. It's all complete client side. Hence why there was so much hacking and just hacks APKs that people could use because everything is client side. So I can't wrap my head around why the game is so badly optimized. And rather than fix the game in its foundations, they've just gone, just buy a new device. We've just cut off support for all these devices. And if you have to think, Cookie Run as a game and as a company is aimed at children. It's not really aimed at adults. Adults play it because it's a gacha game. There's an addiction there, which is a different story. But it's fundamentally aimed at children who are what we would say minors. They're under the age of 16. They don't have $700, pounds, yen, how much money in equivalency in your country to go out and just go buy a new device to play a game. You know, everyone plays with what they've got, and it just blows my mind that rather than try to optimize their game and fix the fundamental problems, they've just chose to just cancel all support because A, it was too hard, or B, they don't know how to. And that's what it and B is the more worrying point because if they don't know how to optimize their game, that's why they're not finding errors in the code. That's why they're not finding errors before they send it to production. All these problems that we find and see now should be found in development. There's no reason it should reach production and your fan base is telling you, yo, I'm crashing a lot. This box is white. That's the basics of just booting up the game. How are they not seeing that instantly? It
Yeah.
it just blows my mind completely that I don't actually believe anyone at a core level at DevSys plays their game. I fundamentally believe not a single developer plays this game.
No, yeah,
And
I agree.
I
and
mean,
the game
Alyssa
cannot
plays
reach
it.
production and have that problem.
See,
Yeah,
Alyssa
but she
plays
does.
it.
She doesn't really work for them. She doesn't do anything.
Yeah, fair
I
enough.
don't know what she
I
does.
also just like to point out that it wouldn't be so egregious that they don't support multiple devices, but the fact that I think most of us, some of us in the guild use BlueStacks or Nox or any Android emulator,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and recently, and I think we all can say throughout the 3 months that this game's been released, they've been slowly shutting down emulator support, and people are having to go doing increasingly more obscure ways of getting their emulators to work just to play this game.
Yeah.
And if you look at it from if you look at Death Sisters, I'm not sure if most people, our audience plays Cookie Run Oven Break, but that game is on the top level of gameplay. We're talking about the best player, Grand Champions League, that sort of thing. The use of an
Mm.
emulator is encouraged. It is the only way you're getting some of those frame perfect
Hmm.
jumps. And so we have on one side we have this stance that says, please use an emulator. This is how you win. And then conversely, back at Kingdom, why is it that emulators are not supported? What's the rationale? It's just such a confusing dynamic between two titles of the same franchise. It's just I just can't get my head around this as well. It's just
Yeah.
To put into perspective what Carthage just said as well, last season before the Grand Prix of the Champions League in Oven Break, 16 finalists, only one was a mobile user, and they got the lowest score. Just to put in perspective of how discouraged people are to use mobile against an emulator in that game.
Yeah.
And the company knows it as well. That's the worst part.
And
it's like if you're oh sorry, Hugh, please go ahead.
yeah, and I just want to point out that even with emulators, with each update that it's being pushed out, you're just getting locked out of updating the game at all. Like, if you have a really shitty phone, well, you're just praying that this update doesn't lock you out forever because you just can't update it from like your Play Store or whatever. And it's the same with emulators. Like with each update that comes out, you can't update it anymore, and then you just have to like do all these stupid little steps to like get it working again, which it's just it doesn't make sense. I don't know why they're doing this.
Val, would you like to chime in on that?
For the poor game optimizations, personally, I'm not really like strong in arena, so I'm like mostly on exploration. So when the new chapter hit in, I had been just constantly getting crash on my like iPhone XR or 10R. So that's
Wow.
like the device that's 3 years old. And I also do use an iPad 6 Gen, so that's also like about 3 years old, and it's just constantly crashing. And yeah, like even like deleting and re-downloading the game doesn't work. So I just end up not playing like for a few days during that new update. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's just really triggering. You're just losing stamina, and then you're just getting like lags, and it just hangs there. So that was my experience with like cookierun Kingdom in general.
Yeah.
So I guess we
So
can all
yeah.
agree that this is clearly something that has been allowed to fester for this entire time, but obviously, as all five of us have just said, nothing's been done about it. And so, what do you guys think that this can be fixed? Do you think they'll actually fix it?
I
Um,
I think it can be. I think, like, as a game developer, it can be fixed. They just don't either have the right tools or the personnel. It's two things.
Mm.
The game is broken. That's just it.
Yeah.
It can be fixed, but it needs to be built back from the ground up. And I've said this since day one of the game came out. It feels like the game is in beta. That there's so many unpolished parts of it that, to me, so this is getting a bit off track maybe, but I feel like they've pushed the game out in Q1 of 2021 because of the pandemic.
Yep.
It feels like they've rushed the game out to market because they needed a game to pad finances. And that came out in their reports. Krob wasn't really carrying the company. Like, Kingdom has done 4 times the revenue of Krob in 3 months versus 2020. That alone should tell you exactly where their priorities lie. And
Yeah.
that's what it feels like. The game is so unpolished because it feels like they've pushed it out for Q1 of this year because of the pandemic, because everyone's suffering. Like, don't get me wrong, I work for a business who got hit by the pandemic as well. It's understandable. But what I can't stand is the this ingenuous replies that they always seem to give out, that they've built a game that's ready to go. And so I think it can be fixed, but the game needs some fundamental changes from the very, very bottom. Like, you have to rebuild the code from scratch. It just can't go on the way it currently is.
Yep.
I would think that developers who's really the ones that are creating the content and developing all the story, put aside the plot of the game and all the new contents, but the ones that are generating the sequential order of what's happening in the game needs to put the app into their phones and start playing it, not as a free to play, but maybe because they are the developers, they can get freebies or some shit. But do that and get yourself hooked on the game and experience the pain that we are facing, because it's it's really traumatizing. I'm not using a low end phone. I'm using the Samsung Note 20 Ultra, and I can feel the lag even after 1 hour of constant gaming. And I don't have this when I play other more frame intensive games, like even the racing games or other kinds of games. So I don't know what's really wrong with the game. I don't have IT fundamentals. I don't know what's going on behind the scene. What's allowing me to see all these flashy things on my screen. But I believe it can be fixed. But the developers need to play the game to know, or at least put yourself in our shoes. Then you will know what we are talking about. Because if not, you're gonna look at the code, the thousand of lines of codes, and you think, oh, this looks perfect. But on our end, it does not look perfect.
Yeah.
Well, that is if they are not playing the game, of course. But if they are already playing the game and they still think that this is perfect, God help us.
See, to put things in perspective, I can run Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Animate, Clip Studio Paint, 10 tabs of browsers. My laptop would not be overheating at all, but once I boot up BlueStacks 5, BlueStacks 5, which by the way is designed to optimize the game better, I pull up BlueStacks 5 and open up cookierun Kingdom. Boom, there goes my laptop. It's suddenly burning. And even then, I still experience some amount of lag. It's minimal when I'm playing on BlueStacks 5, but honestly, I don't know why it's so badly optimized. It shouldn't be this way.
Yeah, bottom line is, I think the game can be fixed. Back to C's question, I think the game can be fixed, but um, the developers really need to get their heads together and think of how to do it. Because if you tell me that you don't have the manpower, well, the revenue that you have earned probably can get you the right people. If you don't have the software, you get external consultants to come in and tell you what to do.
Yeah.
You are making so much money from us. So the least that you can do is respond to our feedback. I know you guys are focused on the Korean communities, but I'm pretty sure at least 50% of the active players are non-Koreans. So do something for us, listen to our feedbacks. Don't treat as though our feedbacks means nothing. Don't give us a holding reply. Don't give us a reply, a standard reply. It's insulting.
Yeah, it's like we're not. I respect that we're not the community that the company engages with. We're not Korean, and unfortunately, well, coincidentally, that's what Death Sisters are. They are Korean. They also enjoy. They want to make sure their Korean fan base is happy. But at this point, it's not just about even a country perspective. It's not about what nationality you are. Everyone can feel some level of discomfort when playing a game that's poorly optimized. And surely we're not the only ones. I don't have access to Naver or DC Inside because I'm not Korean, but I'm sure most Koreans out there who browse these forums daily can, or even just play the game, they can definitely see the same issues as we do. And for the fact that they're just not listening to any of it or just pretending it doesn't exist is just quite worrying for a company who clearly can make a good game if we break, for example.
Yeah. And honestly, so here's the thing. They don't actually listen to their Korean communities either. Because I don't know if you guys remember, but there was this laying down event on Naver. I don't know if you guys were there, but
What
yeah.
what is that? Sorry.
Yeah, there was a
Laying
laying
down.
down meme. So I think Zen knows this. Right? You do?
Mhm.
The laying
Yeah.
down meme. Yeah. So basically, I don't know if you guys remember, but Guild Battle was like the guild update was like pushed back, but like I think it was a few days, like 3 days, and that was
Yep.
during like the height of their content drought. So basically, the Koreans were really angry, and they started copy pasting like this block that looked like a person laying down, and everyone just started spamming that, and the entire official forum is just filled with that spam. And I guess you could just say that it was just like the straw that broke the camel's back, because like it's the same case for them. Their community manager isn't really listening. Sure, they kind of like interact with them, I guess, but then again, it's still the same case as us with like CM Alyssa, like them not really listening to us, not really acknowledging our feedback. So it was like at that point where the game was like really unstable and everyone was just really frustrated. So yeah, this just goes to show that the devs doesn't really listen to the Koreans either, and we're just all on the same boat.
Another thing I want to point out about, well, it may not be an optimization issue, but it's something to do with the, they do push daily updates for the game, and then you have to reload the game, and then you get that little, 7 MB, 10 MB packs that you have to download on your phone.
Yeah.
Um, those packs, I think they could probably standardize the timing that they push these packages. And when they do push it, they should, at the very least, send a prompt in the game to notify the players about it so that they can restart the app before they do something,
Yeah.
like step into the game or an arena or a guild battle. Because there have been multiple times where I'm in arena fighting and I end the match, or maybe I'm near the end of the match, and boom, I get a pop up saying that invalid token, please re-log in or some shit. And when you see that, your heart just sinks because you're gonna lose trophies for that.
Yeah.
So I think for one part, this is probably not about game optimization, but I think pushing updates or pushing these small updates should be done at a standard timing, and when they do push it, please send a notification or something to make us lose our
Yeah.
sanity over the dumbass thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we're all like pretty much in like agreement over this issue. We pretty much share the same
Yeah.
opinions. And yeah,
Hmm.
I think
We
we
can
can
move
just
on.
move on to the second one.
Yeah, let's move on to the next
Yeah.
topic. Yeah,
So the second one,
bad
which
game
is
progress.
yep. So
Bad
recently,
game progression, boys.
so recently we have our update which pushed the level cap for the castle from 12 to 15. And yeah, I guess I can just start off by asking who here has been at Castle 12?
Yeah,
Well, I
I'm
am.
I'm at Castle 12.
I'm I'm at Castle 12, but I am finally upgrading after I don't know how. When was the update released?
Like a
Like,
week
2-3 weeks
ago.
ago.
like
A
2.
month ago.
yeah, so it's a month, one solid month later, I can finally upgrade my castle. That should tell you something. That should
Yeah,
tell
Let that
everyone here
sink in.
something.
Yeah, let that sink in.
yeah,
And it's like, and I like to reiterate that I am a fairly consistent spender. I have put a fair bit of money in this. It's not like I'm a little shrimp crying. Why don't they give us more free to play stuff? Where I'm not that guy. I recognize progression for what it is. I understand that having everyone bum rushing away to Castle 12 is quite droll. It's quite dull. But at the same time, a month to upgrade to Castle 13, 1 month. Come on, man. That's
man,
like I think we've said this earlier. We said this earlier. They no. I think apart from 2 people at their development team, no one actually plays this game. No one at the company plays this game. It's very blatantly obvious to see.
Mm.
If if I could just add in, um, whoever thinks that upgrading a castle from 13 to 14 takes about was it 1 month or 2 months? Whoever
It
thinks that
takes
that's a
30
good
days.
idea, whoever thinks that that's a good idea, whoever thinks that that would help with retaining your player base, you're just fucking dumb. Nobody has the time to sit in front of to play a game for 30 days looking at a castle slowly progressing towards the next level before unlocking a new house level that you can upgrade that gives you 4 freaking level 1 jellies over the period of 8 hours. That's inefficient, that's diminished returns at its worst. and it's ridiculous. Whoever thinks that, it's just
Yeah.
let's just say if I see the guy, I'll punch him in the face.
We don't condone abuse here.
Nor
I'll punch him in the
violence,
face
nor
with
violence,
my
but
nasty words.
I
Yeah.
also like to reiterate that we do not condone violence or any physical abuse to anyone that has abused you. But however, please find some stress relief and don't obsess over everything. It will help your mental state, and as a whole, we just want everyone to live happy and healthy, especially in these trying COVID times. Thank you for listening to
Okay.
my PSA.
Bruh.
1310, I want to ask you, because you're at Castle 11, are
Oh
you
yeah.
intimidated at all to go to Castle 12? Like,
Oh
are
okay.
you afraid?
Okay. So basically there was like this so-called cookie run kingdom tips where by they say don't like don't
I
level your
already know where
castle.
this
Holy
conversation is
shit.
going.
Yeah. So basically the tips told you guys like don't level your castle because you're gonna get like more train wrecks where you just stop you will just not get like progression done because number one is that you're getting production is way too long and you're just not going to get the items, and there's also like where the wish tree will also ask you for these items and you will not be able to give them. So that's where the tips come in, and they said you just stop like maybe at castle 10, I believe. So that's why I'm just still stuck at 11 for now, and I'm just honestly just don't like just really afraid of like just leveling up my castle. Yeah.
Yeah.
You fell
No,
for the Korean trick.
no, no. I hear what you're saying. It's the same with me. I'm the kind of person that will do expansions. I'll upgrade everything that I need, and I sort of sustain it for wishes, trains, and so on. The problem that I have with upgrading is trains is a fundamental part of the game to get rarities. It's the biggest revenue for rarities for a start. Wishes is the only way to make coins. If your wishes get stuck, you can refresh them, but if you can't fulfill your wishes, you will not make coin. Two simple ways. You can get coins from completing levels, from putting on the purse, all of that nonsense, but you will never make a million coins, even if you did every level every day for the last 3 months. You would not make a million coins that easily. Whereas wishes, you could do 100 wishes today and make a million coins.
Yep.
Just to put in perspective how easy it is. Now, I stayed at Castle 11 for 2 months. Not by design. It was just because I didn't really feel like going to Castle 12. I thought if I upgrade, because to get to Castle 12, you need 7 upgrade paths to be completed. You need some of the highest time consuming buildings to be built. The Castella takes 3 hours as base to make one. In a day, you can only make 8 Castellas, providing you have 8 butters and 8 omurices. Which again, butters, you can only make 10 of those in a day. You can only make 20 omurices. You see where I'm going with this? The timing is so impossible to keep up with if you're not prepared. But the issue that happens is you can build a jewelry salon without upgrading any other building once you reach Castle 11. So a lot of new players didn't, I guess, a lot of people that weren't social media, I guess, relevant,
Stuff.
like present, I guess, would say. They weren't looking at tips channels, they weren't looking at anyone to advise them. So they
Yeah.
built the salon without having 4 or 5 necessary ingredients to build. To me, that's just not gameplay. Like, this is why I fundamentally believe no one plays the game at DevSys. No one really checks on the times. The hammers take 6 hours to build, and you need them for expansions. You can only build 4 a day. It's crazy to me that items have a cap per day you can build, even if you micromanage your kingdom. And that's what I mean with the bad optimization is you are literally shooting yourself in the foot the more you want to progress. The first time I got to Castle 12 and I built the Castella, I built the jewelry salon, I had the salon ready to go for a week before I clicked yes, just because I didn't want to build it because all my other buildings weren't ready for it to be done. So even if I built it, I wouldn't have been able to do it. It would have messed up my trains, so on and so forth. And the game just puts you in improbable situations. My trains, if on a bad day, will ask for butters, castellas, rings. Rings aren't so bad once you build them, but it'll ask for butters, creams. armor rise. It'll ask for all the important stuff that you need to build other items. And if I choose to build them, I'm delaying myself even further from progressing. And as a player base, like this isn't content. You know, making your players suffer isn't content because why on earth would you or should you be afraid to progress? Why would you really say to yourself, I don't actually want to go to Castle 12 because it's damaging to my production?
See,
It is damaging to your production, but that's not content to me.
yeah.
Mhm.
It's pretty much like the game is just punishing you for progressing, if that makes sense.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
Does anyone
I agree.
remember that little Korean guide published by ND? The really big Korean cookie run YouTuber that
Yeah.
Yeah, ND
there
Runner.
was a graphic saying that you stick at level 8, I believe it was,
Yes.
and for the longest time no one knew what they were doing, so everyone followed it like it was some sort of holy gospel. But in the end, the people that didn't listen, the very small minority of people that didn't listen to this guide prospered, while I think about most of the player base just got cucked because they thought it was right, but it turns out it wasn't. And it just goes back to what Zen was saying. What kind of game is blatantly so against a player progressing? How is this progression? And just to give you all a little more perspective on similar models, so there's a certain game called Lords Mobile. You might or might not have heard of it. It's an army simulator. You build buildings, you research technology, you kill other players, so forth. These games have 1 month to 2 months of upgrades. However, they also have speed ups, which are items which sound exactly what they do. They deduct a certain amount of time from your construction. Okay, and here at Cookie Run Kingdom, we also have speed ups, but the way we get them and the amounts we get them is just so pitifully low that it's not actually worth keeping them for. So it's very obvious to see like they've been looking at a few other games for inspiration, but the way that it's been implemented has just been so head scratching to me.
Yeah. Especially when you look at like what was it? 14 to 15 castle level?
Yep,
That takes
yep.
90 days. 3
Oh,
months.
yeah. Also,
It's
you have to beat the hardest level in the game perfectly. Just want to
exactly
put it out there.
1030 dark mode.
Who
Who
can do that?
who is
That
doing that? Like
Do we have to beat dark mode 1031
yeah,
to go to
three
yes,
castle?
stars, 3 stars.
3
Yep.
stars.
Not just beat it.
Oh, what
You're
the
not just
hell?
beating it, my guy. You have to complete it fully. And just a heads up for everyone who's done this level, you all probably know what we mean. You all probably have suffered through this level multiple times. People in our guild have suffered through this level so many times,
Yeah.
and not to mention other communities.
Yeah. I feel
Yeah.
like even just the road to dark mode 10, I guess, like just the episode
Yeah.
10. I mean, how many of you guys have even gotten to like dark mode episode 9? Like
Also, in our guild, Whisktakers, there's only one person who has even gotten the right to stand in front of Dark Mode 31.
oh my
And
god.
he hasn't beaten it. And this guy's
A full
a
62.
very big spender. He's got Scroll 12. He's got pretty much every cookie max. His pure vanilla cookies at 4 star, I believe. Oh, by the way, also and he can't beat it. He's not
Yeah.
getting Castle 15. So
Man.
what chance
If
does
he's not bidding it, nobody is bidding
yeah
it.
like who like
That's
we okay, of course we have that. I can count at least like what, maybe 1% of the player base has been Castle 10 at that level and can get Castle 15, but what
Not
about the
even
rest of
1%.
us? What
Not
about
even
the rest
1%.
of us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think all of this conversation is pointing towards a point, which is that a lot of the content and progression is locked behind paywalls.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And
Yep.
it's not really friendly towards free to play or light
Yeah.
spending
Yeah.
players.
It's not even
Um,
friendly to like
it,
new players.
for me, I'm a working adult, and I do earn quite a lot per month, and I don't mind throwing cash at games. But I think for a lot of the players who's enjoying this game at the moment, I can't say that they are the kind of people who can can throw cash at the game so rampantly, and I believe this game is probably targeted towards the kids or maybe young adults. Not, I'm not saying I'm old, but these people, they don't have the financial means to continuously throw cash at the game. I mean, to your credit, Devs, is you do have really value for money packages out there, like the daily crystals, the kingdom pass. Those are good purchases. But over the past 1 or 2 months, the updates that were coming out, it's like you can see that the trend is, let's just add more paywalls
Yeah.
and uh, 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 um, lock content behind paywalls. Basically, you introduce a level 60 cap, and yes, people make noise. Perhaps the reaction towards this noise was, oh, I'm gonna introduce more kingdom levels. I'm gonna give you guys more experiences. But these content are all locked behind paywalls, or generally so hard to achieve that it's kind of impossible for, if let's say someone just starts today and he looks at what can be reached in the next 1 month. I'm pretty sure he's not going to reach Castle 12. He's definitely not going to hit the top of arenas. He's definitely not going to be one of the guys who can even conquer just Dark Mode Story 7, Dark Mode Chapter 7. So a
Yeah.
lot of the content right now is being blocked behind paywalls, and yes, it may do good to your revenue and stuff, but I think it doesn't help the frustrations of the player base.
Yeah.
And I
I
think
just
that's
want
my
to add
main
on
thing
to
for the
that.
game.
Like, there's one particular interaction I've had with the community manager, Alyssa, that I'll always remember. And it was when someone said to her, "Why is Dark Mode 7 so hard? Will there ever be stage nerfs?" And her reply, very snarky, quote for quote, was, "Lol, no. Levels power spikes are designed to prolong the longevity of the game in between updates." And that's quote unquote. And since then, she's edited and deleted the comment from the main Discord because it was just snarky and just stupid. But what that says to me, these spikes are fully intended. Like, everyone from free to play to pay to win has experienced 725 dark mode, normal mode. At some point, that level has kicked all of our asses.
Yep.
Yep.
And it's by design that one of the bosses, it just goes psycho mode after 50% health and wipes you. Obviously, we've learned how to overcome it. We've beaten it many times now. There's still players who struggle on that stage. And this is extrapolated up until Dark Mode Land 9, Land 10. The stuff I've seen that are just improbable at the moment for people to conquer, because it's not what you have, the tools that we have now are impossible to beat what's in front of us. So we just don't play the content. Now, to me, I could upgrade my houses, everything. It would take me, on average, probably about 4 months to get enough XP to max enough cookies to level 60, have all the right units, think of beating land like World 10, presuming this is no upgrades, no updates, nothing coming out.
Mhm.
That's not content.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
you're basically holding me back from enjoying your game. You're literally holding me back to play the game and go, "Oh, no, don't run for it yet. Don't run for it yet. Here's a dangling carrot, but you're not allowed to eat it yet. We're just going to let you see it, but you can't beat it." And I could throw X amount of money at the game. You know, we have a player in our guild, Delankia, who is willing to spend, who has spent, but is still having the same difficulties. So this is not just a free to play versus pay to win problem. This is an everyone
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
That the progression in this game, while I understand you design power spikes to keep your players interested in between updates, it's counterintuitive here, because I literally have no interest in playing dark mode. I'm on dark mode 9.3 now. I probably could beat it. I just need to figure my team, configure it a bit. But what's the motivation? 300 crystals for maybe beating it? 100 crystals for passing it with 3 stars? Come on. Like, I don't need pocket change. But that's going to be nothing to me. And then I'll go get stuck at 9.4. I'll get stuck at 9.5, and so on and so forth,
Yeah.
until I'll reach a brick wall, until I either throw $500 at the game to get my team fast enough, or I put the time in to grind every day, which I am currently doing, and still be months behind of actually completing it. The possibility is just not there. So the power spike that they talk about that exists in between updates, your updates are 1 month apart. Some months you get 2 updates, like we got Strawberry Crepe along with Black Raisin, 2 updates in one. You get buffs and changes and so on. Your updates are only 1 month apart. The power spikes do not need to be 3-4 months worth of grinding to be that apart. It blows my mind that it is just impossible for a free to play player now. If I told him to start today, don't put a single penny into the game, this time next year, I still don't even believe they'll beat Dark Mode Land 8 just because they would not have enough XP, units to pull, crystals to get on a daily basis to pull. And that's not content.
Exactly.
You would have 10 worlds there and they would not even get through
Yeah.
80% of them. That's not content to me.
So it's like just going back to Dark Mode 725. I think that's the infamous level, and 29 for people who have beaten it. It's the same to me. There's two types of if I think all of us here play video games. That's blatantly obvious, and everyone who's watching this definitely is a video game player. There are two types of difficulty that we speak of. One which is organic, one which is artificial. Organic difficulty is when a game introduces new mechanic which is challenging, but it is fair. You do have the tools to beat it without over leveling your character or using a cheat code. Artificial difficulty is the opposite when the game just says fuck you. We're just gonna throw as much damage as possible. You're not surviving this. Have a good day. This is what Dark Mode 725 feels like. It's an artificial spike, and the only way people have beaten it is by either one, throwing money at the experience packages, which we will cover later, and or two, luck, or three, just some combination of both factors. It's artificial. It's not meant to be this hard. 724 was not hard for anyone, but the fact that they decide to chuck in a boss that just decides to say, "Nope, I don't like you. You gone. Bye bye. Alt F4." That's not content. That's just saying "fuck you" to a player base.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like the power spikes, first of all, it demotivates you from even wanting to progress. Like, as Zen said, he's pretty much just done with dark mode. He's just like sitting there at 9-3 dark mode. He's not progressing. Why? Because you're pretty much just bored with it. You get so bored, you're just going to get stuck. Like, in that endless cycle. And then you're just gonna, like, how many times you're gonna get stuck? And then you're just gonna hit, like, dark mode 1031, which, by the way, is pretty much non-beatable at like our current level cap, at our current meta. Nothing is gonna beat that. So it's kind of just pointless, you could say, to have these kind of power spikes. That's the thing. You could probably like add a few more stages to your episodes. You have the team. You have an art team that would literally produce like what? How many months, how many years worth of content? Everything you need is already in there. I get that you need to stagger your content, but come on. Adding a few more stages, making it like, I don't know, 30 stages long, just like get people to keep playing. I guess that would be content, I guess, for me. But then again, it kind of gets repetitive, but you have a team that's completely capable of making it so that it's not that repetitive and so that the progression doesn't feel as bad, at the very least. At least that's what I think.
It's just crazy to me. But I guess that leads on to our next topic about the spending gap between pay to win and free to play players.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, so everyone here is a spender. So we don't have a
Yeah.
free to play. But I guess I can start first because at the very beginning, I spent $0 on this game. When it first came out during the first season, I spent $0. And I guess I feel like I was really behind. Even as a first day player, I played it since launch, and I have a pretty good like fundamental game knowledge back then even, but I struggled to get through 725 because I had underlevel units first of all, and I couldn't get to masters. I couldn't get to Arena Masters during the first season because when you have like the Kingdom Pass, which by the way is like the most like worth item you could buy in a game, like just $5 a season, like about a month. And it's pretty much like impossible to reach masters without spending at least that $5. And even then, it's still kind of hard to even reach masters because you're not spending on like cookie levels. You're not spending on like say gacha pools that would give you like stars that would make your units much stronger. You're not spending on any of that. You're just spending on a little like kingdom pass for like one landmark, which I guess it adds up, but then again, you're still not going at the same pace as the whales, which sure, it's never meant to be, but I guess with like the addition of like these increased package caps, it pretty much becomes impossible to catch up. You're not going at the same rate as the game progresses. You're not going the same rate as like your peers, I guess. And it just
You're just
makes
gonna
it
be left behind.
yeah, it makes it so unenjoyable, especially in arena when you're just constantly getting bullied if you're having like underleveled units or whatever. And yeah, I guess it just becomes impossible to like progress even just without even spending a single dime.
I think the day caps were released, when that quote unquote event was announced, I think all of us here put a left feedback on the main Discord, which obviously will have gone deaf ears, but and this is a topic we feel quite strongly about because even though we're rank 15 or 16 globally as a guild, it's like and just to extrapolate, why we're making this video is just because we believe it's high time somebody, a group of people who are clearly very quite knowledgeable about the game, decide to say, hey, these are some problems, do something about it. And it's just not very it's just very sickening feeling to see that it like all going back to the beginning of what we're discussing, it's just not nice to see that we're being ignored.
Yeah, pretty
Mhm.
much. You guys remember when was it? I think it was when people were complaining a lot and then it was like during a month end or something. I think it was a mid-month update and suddenly like packages were like increased cap. It wasn't like the event that came out a week ago. It was like a while back. I think it was yeah, it was like
Yeah,
the month where
it was
guild
the first time
battles.
they increased XP
Yeah,
packages to
yeah,
level
yeah,
Yep.
3 and
yep,
stuff like that.
yep,
Yeah,
yep,
I
that
think it
one.
was when PV was released.
There you go. PV and the level
Yeah.
cap, that's the one.
Was it?
There was
PV level
another
cap and more
one.
There was like
experience
one
packs.
earlier.
There was one way earlier.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. I'll
I think
find
it
it.
was the release of the almond. I think they dropped.
Mm,
I remember
It was the
they
update on
dropped an
the. It was the
update.
update in February, the 12th of Feb, because I left the feedback about it.
yeah.
12th of February.
It was one of the very very first ones that it was Kumiho. It was Kumiho.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when they released Kumiho, you could only get enough to just clear one card, and that's if you were really 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 unlucky. I was one of such who pulled Kumiho on the last pull, but obviously you didn't need to buy it. But for that update, for some reason, they just increased packages in the middle of the update. They were just like, oh, we've decided you can buy 3 more updates now rather than just one.
Yeah.
And that was when the optimization was at its peak worst, when most Android players couldn't even play. It was like, unless you had like a Samsung S10 upwards, you weren't playing the game. And it was just very, very bad. And they just added more packages instead.
Yeah.
It was very tone deaf.
Yeah. It's it's really discouraging. Like I feel like every single one of us here are pretty much tired of like them just saying, "Hey, here's a bunch more packages. Screw you, we don't care about your problems. Here, buy our packages." That's how I feel.
And the fact that they call a package increase event an event in the first place is just what most people are just very annoyed about. That's not an event. I'm sorry. Look, if you're giving us rate, if certain characters are boosted, I'm not talking about the feature banner. I'm talking about like pure vanilla, the ancient cookies, like certain cookies. If they're getting a rate up, and then you say, hey, here's a pack, here's more currency that you can buy from us. Fair enough. Is that still a good event? No. But is it a much better event than what we're getting? I definitely say that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I do want to ask you, Val, or 1310, because you don't spend a whole lot. Do you feel that there is a ceiling that you can't hit no matter how much you play the game because of the people that do spend?
Yeah, at this rate, like I'm only hitting Master 3 right now, and it's already like I'm just stuck here forever to maybe the
Diamond
next season
3.
that yeah, Diamond 3, sorry. Then probably the next season then I have to continue climbing, and it's probably just going to be like Diamond 3 again. So most likely I'm not going to get like the Master Landmark, which is kind of sad since season 1 because I didn't really spend that much. But yeah, it's just stuck right here.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, even a spender can't even hit masters. That's a problem there. Like, it's
Yeah, so these are the paywalls that I mentioned about earlier. I mean, eventually a lot of light spenders and probably medium spenders are gonna hit masters, but at what cost?
yeah.
Yeah. For
We
me,
shouldn't have to keep dumping cash, um, just to progress in the game and reach the level of rank that we want to. I mean, given that most games are revenue based, so I can see what the developers are trying to go for. But a lot of for this game particularly, in order to reach the certain rank, you really have to consider throwing cash because number one, every freaking new cookie is game breaking no matter how much we speculate about it. Well, not every because previously Kumiho and Kumiho really sucks over there.
Yeah,
Um,
they learned
but after that you have espresso, which breaks the game. Then you have latte, the three
yep.
mage combo. After that you get your what was it, almond, I think.
Almond, yeah.
Almond,
Almond
nobody
cookie.
thinks that he's good. Some of them already thought of the rye and the almond, which coined as Ryman setup, which was unbreakable until someone found out that Tiger Lily could break it, and then they fixed rye so that Tiger Lily couldn't. Well, eventually they can again.
yeah.
Then every single release from then on is just game breaking. You have what was after Almond? Was it PV?
Almond,
Black raisin.
black
Black raisin.
raisin.
Black
Black
raisin.
Raisin.
It was Black Raisin, but it was shadowed by
Yeah.
PV.
Yeah.
But then people didn't realize how powerful Black Raisin are. Because right now Black Raisin is so incredibly overpowered that she alone can carry the entire team. You can have a full team of support and just one Black Raisin and you will win the arena. You will go to Masters. It's so broken, it's incredible. So I'm back to game progression. In order for you to even progress in the arena, because arena is still part of the game, in order for you to make this progression, you have to spend. If you don't spend, you're not number one, you're not gonna get a cookie. Number two, you will not have sufficient experience to bring the cookie to the level that you need in order to make it excel in arena. And you will not have the experience because your houses will definitely not produce sufficient XP jellies for you. And if let's say you think that okay, it's okay, I'm just gonna chill out this season and next season this guy is gonna be 60 and he's gonna be game breaking, fat hole because I'm pretty sure the next cookie is gonna be more game breaking than Black Raisin.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm.
I think
Yeah, I
I think now's a
agree.
good time to I think now's a good time to pull up. So I have in front of me right now the Cookie Run Kingdom fandom, and it in front of me is the Cookie Houses page. And to tie in with all the previous discussion about experience in and looking at the wiki page, I'm not gonna bore you with every single one. And if you do want to look at what each house level provides, we will provide a link in the description below. But just to give you a general idea of the trend, from levels 1 to 4, essentially go from one XP candy to 17. It's fair enough. That's pretty generous. You're essentially almost you're getting a fair bit more for a little bit of investment. And then from 5 to 8, it's going from 17 candies to 112. Again, pretty solid, good progression. And then from 8 to 10, that's 112 to 160. Okay, this is quite good. But then once you hit to 11, that's 164 from 160. Entire day's worth of upgrades. You're using more rarities than what you're going from 10 to 11, 9 to 10. And all that effort for what? A day's waiting for 4 extra candies? It's the same with 12, 13, 14, and 15. Well, not 15, because I don't think anyone's actually hit 15 and put the data available. But this is a pretty good example of how DevSys is just monetizing the game and just saying, if you're not paying for our very delicious XP packages, you ain't progressing. Tough luck to you.
Yeah.
That's
It's like recently with the new update that they've given like a week ago, they increased XP packages to 5 right now.
Yep.
So that only increased to 3 packages about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks ago with Black Raisin's release.
Yeah.
That was when they increased it the first time.
Yep.
So for example, I'm a free-to-play player. I've upgraded all my houses. I've as optimized as possible. Currently at at Castle 12, I'm making 286,000 XP a day. That's not even one level between level 50 to 60 for a cookie. So hypothetically, I need 11 days worth of XP to max a cookie to level 60 from 50, the previous cap.
Mhm.
A paying player per week can max 1 cookie, along with the XP they're getting from houses, landmarks, everything, all sources, all revenue. So they could probably max 2 a week if they're very well optimized. As a free-to-play player, how am I ever meant to keep up? A new cookie comes out, it's the must-use cookie. Like Strawberry Crepe right now. Strawberry Crepe is in a very, very, very good place in Arena because it can literally turn the tide. It can make you survive Vampire at 100% buff. Just to put in perspective how broken Crepe is for a team. Suddenly, that's the new cookie we have to invest in. At any time, you have about 4 or 5 cookies that are so unique in their way and their approach to team building that you have to pour XP into them. Every new cookie we've had so far, only Kumiho is one that has been so bad everyone's managed to ignore. 1 cookie out of how many have come out? 7 since?
Yep.
Yeah.
You
You're
couldn't
right.
really skip Latte because Latte is needed for Dark Mode Land 10, for what I know. Latte is also very good. Espresso was the first one, so we won't really include. Almond will get better over time the more cookies come out. It was just Rye initially. Look at now, Black Raisin has made Almond unstoppable at certain comp levels. So Almond is amazing. Black Raisin, as earlier as Aksyong said, is so broken when it comes to 100% buff that Black Raisin can literally wipe an entire team. It's not like Chili Pepper where they single target and might miss. Black Raisin doesn't miss at 100%.
And
You know,
yeah, and he just hits everyone, and she hits everyone.
yeah,
That's
and
it's a
it's
blatant
what blows
upgrade.
my. It's an impossible situation for a free to play player or even a low spending player. Someone that only buys Kingdom Pass will never, ever, ever keep up. And yes, I get the argument. Spending players should always have an advantage because they're putting money into the game. Agreed. It's like life. If I buy a Ferrari, I'm 100% going to outrun the person who owns a Ford Focus, a really rubbish car. That's life. That's life. I understand that. I understand that. If I'm buying something for more, if I'm putting more money in, I will get more out. That's completely understandable. But the problem is the person in the slower car is so demotivated by how fast the other car is going, in a sense, they're just going to just pull over and just be like, you know what, I'm just not even going to bother. And that's how it feels at the moment for free-to-play players, that they do just want to just get out of the car and be like, you know what, this game's not worth putting my time into. And that's where I think the issue is with DevSys is you're so focused on the paying players, you've forgotten about all the players that get left behind because they drive slow cars. You've forgotten about all the free-to-play players, low-spending players. It's just impossible for them. By luck, they might pull a pure vanilla. By luck, they might pull Strawberry Crepe to 2-star. That's still going to get beaten up by a 5-star Crepe. That's still going to get beaten up by a 5-star Black Raisin, just because a spending player is willing to put more money in. And the gap right now between pay to win and free to play is bigger than it's ever been.
Yeah.
just because they've increased XP packs.
Yep.
And what scares me in the future, with every ancient release, every level cap increase, that gap will only get wider and wider. It will never shrink back down to a point where a free-to-play player has a pay-to-win person in sight and be like, I can compete, because they can't.
Yeah. And it's not like we're asking. It's not like we're asking for free to play or light spenders or even moderate spenders. Let's add that too, to be able to say, hey, I can be rank 1. That's frankly that's unrealistic, and
yeah.
we agree. And I agree with what Zen just said. That's life. If you have more money, you will inevitably have more means to get more resources. But the thing is, all we're asking for as a community is a more even footing, a more compassionate look to the people that are not spending. There's probably kids out there that's saying, "Mom, Dad, can I please have use my pocket money on this pack? I really want this new cookie." They don't want it 5 stars. They just want it
A
as
copy of it.
yeah, they just want a copy because it looks cute, it looks nice, or it's strong. Some people might find it that way. We're like, look at those people. They're not. Yes, 100 of those might not equal a single Korean whale, or any whale in general, but they're the people that build up your game. And if these people leave, what are the whales going to whale for? Inherently, a whale will whale because they want to feel some sort of superiority over others. And if no one's there to feel superior over, they're just going to leave for another game. Nothing's stopping them. It's not loyalty that keeps them there.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I want to just bring up a point on that, you know, everyone gets competitive burnout, no matter what game you play, what level you play. At a certain point, like, for example, first-person shooter games, in quick play modes, most people hate skill-based matchmaking because it's constantly sweaty. You're constantly having to try to win. If all these free-to-play players eventually leave your game, you're just going to have a bunch of people, everyone who's put money in, just playing each other over and over. And the burnout will be real for them because they're just like, well, I'm just putting more money in and getting the same results. There is no progression. They're paying to stay in the top 100 of Arena. They're paying to stay in the top 30 guild in the world. You know, story mode, no one cares for. Let's be honest. How often have we looked at someone else's profile and gone, oh my God, they've cleared 1030? No one gives a shit, if we're honest. Like,
exactly.
very small percentage of their players care about lore. Like, between the 5 of us, I can honestly, hand on heart, say more people in our guild have probably skipped cutscenes than watched them. I don't even know what the storyline is in this game.
This is slander.
I have no idea what we're playing for.
I mean, here's a refresh for everyone that did. Bad cookie appears, good cookie stop, bad cookie. There we go.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
That's literally it. And that's the
It's
extent.
much deeper
like,
than
there's
that.
such a small percentage of people who actually care about the storyline. And just because there's been no reason for us to know it, the whole mage event, the mage academy, I don't even know what happened.
Oh my
When
God.
did Cream Puff graduate? Who's the teacher? Is it Latte? What's Omen doing? What's a police officer doing at the academy? Like, I honestly could not tell you anything to do with the story.
We're gonna get very angry people under the comments here, especially Piano. Piano, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry.
I think one of the thing about the experience gap that I felt like DevSys really did something wrong, and I felt that it's really extremely bad. It's when they increase the level cap and they increase the number of experience pack you can purchase, because that's blatantly telling you, hey, suck it up, buy my packages or suffer.
Yeah.
Slimy.
Then to make
Very
it
slimy.
worse, we know for a fact that we get 2 cookies every month. At least that's what the trend is showing. We get 2
3
cookies
if it's
every
an
month.
ancient.
Oh my God.
Yeah, well, that's not always, I hope.
Yeah, I
but
mean,
we
golden cheese
always
is
get
coming.
2.
I just want to say, golden cheese is reportedly coming out in the next update. We haven't got anything, but that's apparently the thing.
Anyway, so you know for a fact that you get 2 cookies every new month.
Yep.
And you know for a fact that you do not have sufficient experience to bring both cookies to 60 at the same time through just organic experience generating.
Yep.
And when the developer introduces more experience cap, new experience packs for you to purchase, it's just dirty. I think that's extremely dirty.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
I just want
not that I won't buy it, but I find it's disgusting.
Yeah. I just want to bring up 1.2. There's a cycle which pretty much is just like what most, I guess, like light spenders or like even just free to players, there's a cycle, especially in like arena. The 15,000 crystals you get from masters, right? Masters 5. That
Yep.
is pretty much like the only source, the only income of like huge amount of crystals that you would get just for, I guess, like completing arena, you could say. Like
Yeah.
masters is like the end point. And it's just crazy to me that people can't even hit Masters 5 even when they're like spending with like Kingdom Pass and whatever, when the 15k crystals could make a difference for the next banner release. Like, first of all, you got guild rewards, and to help your guild get into the top 1 percentile, which by the way isn't really achievable once like you're a late game player, unless you spend like, I guess, a bit more, you could get into the top 1 percentile. And top 1% gets 5k crystals a week. Then you have arena, 15k crystals every month. So those are like the only sources of like huge crystal income that you could get, which, yeah, sure, you could get about like 30k a month, but 30k a month, which, mind you, you're gonna have to use those 30k for like, I don't know, 2 banners for 1 month. How is that sustainable? How is that going to benefit the players? Yeah, sure, the game is like
And it,
generous with like, I guess, compensation, like giveaway events, 1k crystals a day. Sure, whatever. But there will come a point where free to players just barely even get 10 pulls amount because you've just completed all the stories, you've pretty much just done everything. Where will the crystals come from? Which, to reiterate, crystals are like essential because you need those crystals for gacha pulls. You need those crystals to progress. You need stronger units. And it's always a cycle. Once you get stuck at one step, you can't progress anymore. You're just stuck in that loop. And I guess it's just really damaging for the progression of like free to players, even like spenders and whatnot. So yeah, there's that.
I also like to add out. I'm not sure how relevant this is, but if it's not, then you may cut it out. But there was this point where latte got quote unquote balance.
Yeah.
That was like like I'm not sure when it got out, but it maybe was like a week after she got released. So it's like, how come like the dev took so long to actually realize that, oh, she's actually really broken and it's not like so-called um following her skill description. So they just like kind of waited for everyone to like pull for latte, and then they just announced like latte got balanced. So it's like indirectly a nerf in a sense. Not sure if you
Yeah,
guys
but
remember that one.
Yeah,
but they
yeah.
wrote it back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
they wrote it
rebalanced
as
it.
balance lah.
Yeah.
Mm,
It's kind of like a gray area too because technically in like I guess I think it applies in Korea as well. In gacha games, you cannot nerf a character without reason. And
mm-mm.
like once players realize how broken Latte is, people start pulling for her. And then you
Yep.
nerf it and then you buff it back. It's it's pretty much
It's like, what are we
just
doing out here?
it's it's
yeah, exactly. It's what message trying to send.
it's exactly, it's like, why are you doing this? You know, you're just sending mixed signals. And I guess that's been the pretty much like the general vibe with the dev sisters. You get a lot of mixed signals from them. It's big
I don't
yikes.
even feel like it's mixed. To me, it's a very consistent message: money or bust. If it's not making profit, we're not doing it. And that's what it feels like to me. That all these changes, all these mistakes, like all these handouts that we've been given, like stuff like the shroom one that no one really even knew, no one even paid attention to. I
Yeah.
feel like it's just them covering their asses if it ever arose, and they were just like, nah, just in case, let's just satisfy the community with 5,000 crystals. And listen, I want to say, I think this community as a whole, I think everyone is very easily pleased. You know, we get given 12,000 crystals for a 30-hour maintenance. Oh, yay, we're all good. It's 12,000 free crystals. Why are we complaining? Just going to do something else for the day. Yeah, that's right. I did do something else with my day, but it doesn't stop the game having fundamental problems. Why was there a 30-hour maintenance that did nothing to improve?
Yeah.
You know, like, we are very, very easily distracted and pleased by nature because of the handouts. But what ends up happening is it just becomes a rolling joke then. Oh, don't worry, we'll have an extended maintenance. We'll get more free crystals.
Yay,
I wasn't even looking at the
apologies.
game. I was sleeping. Da, da, da. And it's bad enough that the game is updated on Korea's time cycle. Like, so Koreans, because I get they're a Korean game dev, that they're, for them, the updates will happen in their sleep. What about people in America? It's prime hours for them. How are you trying to push your game out to different audiences when updates are pushed at certain times of the day, which are just unpalatable for other people? But because Korean time zones are fine, it helps you guys as devs. You know, there's so many decisions that it just blows my mind.
See, that's the thing too. They are trying to market the game as like they're trying to market it to like the US, which I noticed because first of all, the CRK HQ is in America. Surprise, surprise. But you're not doing it in a way that it satisfies the American audience. Yeah, sure, the giveaways are based in America, yada yada yada, but the updates, the constant just ignorance towards the English community, there's nothing there. Which, by the way, this actually relates to our fourth topic. But yeah, whatever. And I guess it's
We can
it,
move on to that.
yeah, it's just
I
it
think
just
we,
doesn't
we've
make sense.
slowly
Yeah, we're just straying away from topics now, but yeah, it's whatever.
no, but it's
I think we've reached there organically.
Yeah,
yeah, because I think everything ties back to this. It's tone deafness to what we as your player base are saying to you.
yeah, pretty
Like
much.
that's
It's it's come to a point that players somehow just get excited. Ooh, there's a maintenance. There's apologems now. Wow. And it just becomes a running gag, which it frustrates me. It
yeah.
frustrates me because why are you having these problems at all? Why? There shouldn't be free to players getting excited over a maintenance just because they have free crystals, which would benefit them. But these free crystals mean nothing to like the whales who have thrown like hundreds and thousands of dollars. Because what's just like what 3,000 crystals? What does it mean to them? One pool? Nothing. And I guess like you're not even listening to your community. You're not listening to your Korean community. You're not listening to the English community. You're not acknowledging all these issues that we're having. So you're just continuously pushing this game to be worse. And there will come a time where people are just getting sick of all these like instability, sick of all these like issues that aren't going unfixed. It's just gonna die really quickly. That's what I think.
Yeah, it's very disappointing because I think the game does have very good fundamentals. I think the foundations of the game are very, very good. There's a very good basis here. I think the game's only been out 4 months. Realistically, it's only been 4 months, and we've had this many problems already. You know, when I think of mobile games that had bad launches and took a while, Pokemon Go is probably a good one. They had probably the worst first month ever because the servers were unplayable. It was just very, very harsh to play. And they went back to the drawing board and fixed the servers first. And that's what it feels like here, that when we are having a bad maintenance and bad issues, they're just not getting fixed. And I don't know at what straw will break the camel's back for them when they'll actually realize that they can't just keep throwing packages at people. I don't know. It's just a general tone deafness that comes across from them, from the very top, from the updates, right down to Alyssa, who basically just posts updates from them anyways. That it to me, it just feels like no one is listening to their community. No one is listening to the player base, and they're just going with what they think we want, which is more packages, just because they look at their sales and go, they're still buying the packages. Something's working. And yeah, to an extent, it is for some people. Some people are easily entertained. Put money in, see number go up. Yay! Some people are very small brained. That's all it takes to keep them happy. For the large proportion of players, though, that's just not possible. The players that aren't spending, so what are they benefiting from then? The players that don't want to spend or refusing to spend because they just get it's at this point it's almost like a glorified scam, and that's what it feels like.
Also, I just like to mention that the 6,000 crystal event that you get from buying 3 packages,
Yeah.
that is not an event. I'd just like to point out that shouldn't be an event. That is not what but sadly it is.
I want to point out that event started literally the next day after I bought 2 gnomes, the gnome packages. So I've been scammed. I've been bamboozled. This is gross misconduct from them.
You only have yourself to blame because you were supposed to buy the gnomes 3 days
Oh
ago.
my god.
Exactly.
There's no retrospective spend. It's a
Do
scam.
not. While I don't
That-
agree
that
with
was
many
not
things that Death
retrospective.
Sisters does, but you can't push this blame on them.
That's
That's
100% their
unfair.
fault.
you tell him.
That's unfair. That's unfair.
Oh
But
my
You
in
don't
all
do that.
seriousness, I think, like Carthage said, I think an event that
Yeah.
encourages you to buy packs isn't an event.
Exactly.
It's just
Yeah,
more
exactly.
a bonus
Yes.
for pay to win players. It's more, hey, you guys are doing so well. Here's a loyalty bonus. It's like me buying stuff at
Yeah.
a store. It's not an event. There's no event around this. If you don't spend, you don't get to participate in the event. What kind of event is that?
Yeah, it's not exactly an event. I think it's more like a bonus.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, hey, this is the season to be giving here. Buy this, we give you more, or something like that. I think they're using the term event so loosely that it's no longer meaning anything at all.
Mm.
Yeah, speaking of bonuses, what do you guys think about the PV, like 250 PT pools
Oh
I
my
and
think
the
god.
event itself?
the
Oh my
entire
god.
event, I honestly think that it makes sense as long as F2P can pull a PD without spending anything. I didn't do the math. I'm not really sure if F2P can really pull a
No, they can't.
PV
They
without.
can't.
They can't.
They
So
Yeah,
can't.
they
then
can't.
the event is a scam. It's so fucking dirty again. It's like the experience thing. Here's level 60, here's more experience packs. It's disgusting.
It's
At
it's
least that's my opinion.
yeah, it's obviously I guess like this update made me feel like this update is just the most cash grabby update. First you have the level cap, then you have the castle cap, then you have this ancient cookie, which by the way is the best cookie right now. If you don't have this cookie, you're pretty much doomed in
Wow.
arena and story mode. It's
I hate to break it to you, but Black Raisin is the best cookie right now.
yeah, which is
Aksyong
fair.
really hates Black Raisin.
Which is fair, but then again, you have pure vanilla, which has all these OP features, and you have free to players who is like how many? I guess like about 40 or 30 30 pulls away from pity. They can't get one. And how in
Yeah,
the
that's
world?
not nice.
Yeah, pretty much. Like as of recording this, we have 4 days. Well, 5 days, I guess. 5 days until the event ends. There is no site where we will be getting any bonus like currency for the polls. So you're pretty much just forcing
Not enough, anyways.
yeah, you're pretty much just forcing like your free to players to be like, "Hey, buy this package. You'll get PV.
You're this close.
You're this close.
You're
You're
this close. Get it. Just buy.
That's
Come
what's
on.
that's what's so slimy about it, because the event, all the little toppings, all the little updates they've given, a free-to-play player will be. I guarantee once we get to the last day, we can get someone to do the exact math. They're going to be the exact one package away from buying it, and I bet you it's the $45 package.
well,
The one,
THC.
what's it called? Let me go look what this up now.
Yeah, THC.
The Lights of
Meta
Truth package.
Yeah.
I bet it'll be the Lights of Truth package, the one that's £44 in the UK. Like I think it's $45 already, but and get this, sliminess wise, it ends 1 day before the PV package ends. The PV before Never Gacha ends. Just to throw that out there as well. The timing ends just right before the Never Gacha ends, just to put a bit more FOMO and pressure on the player to buy.
Yeah. Like, someone actually
Crazy.
did the math. Someone actually did the math, and I think it was like 2 Light of True packages away. Like two.
It just blows my mind, honestly.
Like, if you're, say, me, like, I spend a bit on packages, I spend a bit on the cookie, like, feature cookie packages. I still need to buy one of these Light of Truth packages just to hit pity. I am pretty much like the one person in the guild as a spender. Well, pretty much like everyone in the guild spent. I'm like the one person that spent and hasn't even gotten one single copy of PV. And then you have Piano, who's like free to play. He hasn't gotten PV either. It's honestly disgusting. Like, the rates alone are already so garbage, and then you go ahead and throw all of this on top, and yeah, it's honestly just saddening to think that PV at some point will also get replaced by some kind of legendary, by some kind of epic even, and there's nothing we can do about it, because if you don't got PV now, you're pretty much doomed for the future. So yeah, there's that.
It's like, yeah, I think I think most games when they release some variant of a new rarity, everyone gets it. So I like to point out to a game called Dragon Ball Legends. They've just released a new rarity, but I believe everyone gets a complimentary copy. Now, will that complimentary copy get boosted to max stars, max rank? It won't, definitely not. That's for the spenders, but it's examples like this that just make you step back, take a look, and just ask, wait, why are we being treated like this? What differentiates us from the other players of other games? How is this? Why is this? Why do they get such nice treatment while we're just here sitting and like, why are we being mistreated?
Like, even if you don't look at other franchises, you look at just Cookie Run Oven Break. I feel like you guys here can just be like a better, I guess, you're more experienced in that. And I don't know, I feel like with the way that we're being treated in Cookie Run Kingdom, every other game is infinitely better than us, I guess.
I do want to clarify a point that I know that it sounds like we're whining, we're ranting, and we're having it really bad, whatever. And people are gonna. I imagine some of the comments will be like, "Well, just leave, just stop playing the game." Fair point. We can just stop playing the game, and I think the point about this whole conversation really has come about because it's a place of passion. I think it's a place of us wanting the game to be better. We don't want more. I think to clarify that, I don't want more from them. I just want better.
Yeah.
I've always reiterated this multiple times. Do better, not do more. I don't want more cookies. I don't want more
packages.
Just packages. I want better options. I want better choices from the very top. We're not asking for more. Like, let's make that very clear. We're asking just for better communication, better updates. The new update is pending in 5 days. We haven't had a sniff of what it could possibly be. We don't know if there's a new guild boss coming. We don't know what's coming after arena ends, what update is coming after that. There's just so much that we just don't know what's going on. And we're expected to find out 24 hours before. Build excitement for your game. Like, every other game I play a lot of game called Destiny 2. They tell you about an update coming over a month in advance to get you excited. Like, this is the future. This is the roadmap. We're looking at doing this. Devs, on the other hand, have put encryptions on all their files, more so. They're actively cease and desisting people who are leaking content. They're basically stopping everyone from leaking anything just because they want to keep it all secret, which I understand to an extent, but how is 24 hours before an update meant to get everyone excited? Right now, I'm angry at Dark Mode, I'm angry at Arena, I'm angry at packages. I have nothing to look forward to in this game. So why would you not want people to be excited about your game organically? that's what blows my mind, is that they're so against people knowing what's coming, what the roadmap is. And that has me believing they don't even know what the roadmap is beyond 2 updates. I don't think they know what update will come in July, August, because they haven't thought that far ahead. And that's what scares me about the future of this game.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
we're
and just
just really passionate about the game because as a guild, I feel like we've pretty much became a family here. Not to be cheesy and all, but like because of this game, we've pretty much made all these friends, all these like amazing people. We've made a little community that we have here. It's all amazing stuff, all because of a game. And it's just we don't want the game to die. And this comes from a place of like frustration, but it also comes from a place of like passion. Like we
and
love the
hope.
game. We love the game, but we also hate it. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Well, I don't really hate it. I hate the
Hmm.
decisions that were made.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I just hate
just
the.
I think one of the key things I would like to happen in the coming few updates is if they could just make new releases come out, and for me as a gamer, I don't need to sit here and think, should I spend and enjoy, or should I just miss out on this content? As a gamer, that's the worst thing you can put. As a developer, I think that's the worst thing you can put into your brain, into the mind of a gamer.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to spend to enjoy the game. I mean, yes, you are revenue you are revenue based, so I can get what you're trying to do, but don't make us have to make that decision with every single update. So far, that's the trend, and it's annoying.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if we don't have to look far. Let's go back to Oven Break real quickly. They've just released tweets. I think there's a YouTube video. You're very welcome to correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a clip, tweets. I think there's a lot of things that they're telling people to get excited for a July update. July, 2 months in advance. This is the same company making the two games we have been discussing this entire time. Meanwhile, over here, it's like, as everyone else has said, 5 days, not a sniff. What the heck?
I've been
I stand
camping
corrected.
Naver. I've been sitting on Naver. Nothing. Nothing. And I see like the occasional Korean post that's like, Dev Nim, have you been on vacation or something? It's honestly, I don't know why. Why do they do this? There's no point. Come on, just give me excitement. Give me something to look forward to. Like as of right now, I feel like I'm just sitting here doing basically the bare minimum. I log in, I do my arena, I do like a bit of production. I slack off on production a lot. I burn my stamina jellies, I level up my units, do my guild battles, and then that's it. I log in for like a total of like 3, 5 times a day because I'm bored as of right now. I know the next cookie is coming soon, but I don't know what is it. I don't know what it can do. I don't even know how does the cookie look yet because there's been no info. There's been all these encryptions on the leaks and stuff. And it just demotivates you. You're just not getting any motivation to play pretty much. And I guess even for like especially for like our whales here, I know that a few people have been experiencing burnout just because like, oh hey, you threw money here. Now what?
Yeah, I think burnout's a very personal issue. I think Zen knows this quite well. I've told him about a month ago that I was considering just dropping the game entirely because it's a mental side. Well, partly because of my own personal life issues, but mainly because there's nothing to look forward to. It's like, what's the point? As Luvin just said very correctly, what's the point? There isn't much to look forward to. We're not getting hype. There's no updates. There's very minimal knowledge on what's happening next. And updates and an update cycle or roadmap, as people have described it as, are pivotal to a game's long-term success because if you know what content is coming, then you can adequately prepare resources for it because we've got what we've got how many classes of cookies we have? 1, 2, 3. We've got 6 classes of cookies, 6 types of upgrade materials, and they're in quite small supply. If we don't even know what the next cookie's class is, how are we supposed to prepare for an update? And we don't. Are we just gonna play a 1 in 6 game of chance and just pray to dear God that we get it every month? That's not how it should go.
Yeah, I agree. It's like, especially when with every update, you're pretty much like short on one class of resources. Like, remember when Latte came out and everyone was like short on mage powders because espresso was like the last banner? And then now you have Black Raisin, and then you have Vamp being OP as hell, and then you have Rye. So like everything, it's just you're constantly short on like that one or two classes of like skill powders or like resources even. Then you have like classes like the Bomber class, which by the way only has like what, one epic? One epic? One epic.
One. Yep, Poison Shroom. Poison Shroom represent.
Oh my god.
It's not even a bomber. It plants freaking mushrooms on the ground. That's not a bomber.
Hey, a mine is a bomb. I just let a delayed bomb. Come on, man.
Well, okay, fine.
But I do agree with you in that.
Yeah.
Just like to also like to shout to KWKW for the only person
Yeah.
maxing out Shroom. We love you. All right, I hope you're doing well, my friend.
I really think that they should um introduce better characters, better cookies for bombers, because it's really lackluster right now.
Who's the other bomber cookie in the game? Just
Cherry.
what was it?
Cherry.
Yeah,
There's two
Cherry.
more. You have cherry,
Cherry
and
and
you have the
Gumball.
gumball, which
Mhm.
by the way, the skill description says
Alchemist
three
as well. Alchemist. as well.
firing three
Ah.
bombs, but actually he only fires one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a
It's-
lie! It's a scam.
For me,
My
actually, I think
experience-
an important thing I
Guys.
think I want is
Mhm.
a diversity in abilities.
Yes.
What really irritates me now is we're going towards a trend where a common cookie has an ability, an epic will come out and have that ability and something on top. Give me something new. A bomber cookie, we can all speculate now, is either going to stun, stagger, or do a slow or silence. It's going to be one of those. It like
Definitely gonna be stunned.
I want diversity in abilities. You know, make abilities great. You know, I just,
Make
that's
abilities
all I
great again.
want.
The whitest thing you
abilities
could
great
possibly
again.
say. Jesus.
Maga.
It's literally make abilities great again.
Yeah,
You know,
fair.
it's for me the frustrating thing is if it doesn't stun, if it doesn't chain, if it doesn't boost crit or nuke someone, I'm not using it. This
Oh,
like
God.
that's it. But except for Kumiho, because her stun is rubbish.
It's a charm.
Who?
Kumiho,
The
Yeah.
fox
Yeah, that-
lady.
Yeah, exactly. Who?
Yeah, exactly. I think that sums up the response to this. Who? You shouldn't have to say who to a cookie that was released like quite recently. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
Oh god.
She starts?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
No,
He
look,
doesn't even
look,
know the
look,
skill.
just because you don't test her in arena, just because you don't test her in arena doesn't mean you don't know about this. Come on.
Oh
Actually,
No,
I'm
my
just gonna
god.
max her next. She does stun. She's a frontline stunner. She charms, but it stuns basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
He's like, what?
Now
He's having a
that's
stroke right now.
interesting.
But yeah, she
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
but like,
yeah.
sorry, Ted.
Yeah.
Ted,
Sorry.
would you like? You were saying? Sorry.
Yeah, I think one more thing is that when you guys talk about rarity, it's like the past 7 cookies were like all epic rank. So I mean, sorry, is it epic rank?
Yeah, epics.
Holy shit, I don't even remember. It's like basically the third tier. What about the rares? You know, it's like, are we still gonna expect like legendaries or like ancients on the next patch? It's like, what about the rares? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the release schedule doesn't make sense so far.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yes.
mean there should be like a week or maybe like a 2 weeks of us like just focusing on our progressions and not like just building all the time.
And that's the thing, because we find out 24 hours before the update comes out, we have no idea what we're saving resources for. and storage is already a problem. You know, there's
Yeah.
only so much XP you can save before you're really shooting yourself in the foot and going, I just don't have storage space.
Yeah,
Like,
you just have to use it at some point. Then that's the thing.
yeah,
You're
there's-
forced to. You're forced to use it.
like even one of our best players, Presence at the moment, has saved. How much has he saved? Like 2 mil worth of XP, 3 mil worth of XP, I want to say. And he's maxed that storage, and we're still 7 days away from the next release. It's like, what do we do now? And it's just an impossible situation to be in because we just don't know what's coming.
Like it's fine to keep certain things in the game secret. We're not asking you to give us the entire cookie roster, although that would be very nice. That's what we're asking. What we're trying to get is like we don't want to play this guessing game every month. We don't it's not we're not trying to play Sudoku. We're not trying to play battleships. We just want some semblance or some hint of what's coming. Teaser trailers. You guys do that so in Cookie Run. Why can't you do the thing? Why can't you do the same here?
Yeah. It's like with Oven Break, you get all these like fancy, like the two community managers doing all these videos.
Big Mac.
Yeah, Micmac and Rose just doing all these like wholesome little videos introducing the update, getting the fans excited, all these premieres. And what do we get? What do we get? We get like just this video on the official channel, like here, the video's released, go watch it. And it's
No, we
always
don't even get that. We get C and Melissa.
yeah. See, that's the thing. It's always
What-
I'm not
released.
sure. I'm not sure I want to, but
Oh my god.
But
Oh.
not from her. Definitely not.
Oh my god. But
Yeah,
yeah.
but-
It's honestly like really
Uh.
disappointing when you compare these two communities, even though they're from the same company. It's just it's really disappointing.
I don't know. Just so many things could be like. The reason why we're even more disappointed than we would have if Cookie Run Kingdom was a standalone game was because you can obviously see at the other side, Cookie Run, Oven Break. They clearly know what they're doing. They know how to market things. They know what to do. What is it about doing the same thing over here at Kingdom so hard? Adoption? Staff? Manpower? Technology?
yeah.
Like, what's stopping you? I just want an answer. What's stopping you from doing the same thing over here?
Yeah.
That's why it does feel like to me the game is in beta, that it was just rushed out,
Yeah.
and we're sort of just dealing with the domino effect of that now. That we just don't have a complete game. We just don't have a finished game, and we're just sort of prodding along until eventually it will be done, but we just don't know when. We don't know when to have that expectation, and there's only so long we can keep getting strung along and being like, oh, this update is coming, this is so to get excited, and there's nothing to get excited about at the moment, which is just painful to say out loud because I've been doing the same thing for weeks now. You know, the guild battles are boring now. Like I have nothing that I'm doing differently than I was 3 weeks ago. Hoarding XP every day, putting it into another cookie, doing my arena battles from the tickets I've saved up every hour, doing my stamina runs just to do toppings because I have no interest in dark mode. You know, there's a week ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I'm not doing anything different. I'm playing the exact same way I was playing, as if no update happened, which is crazy.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Update. What update is? Yeah, I mean, I guess unless you want to unless you want to remortgage your flat or your house and throw money as in a gacha, I guess that could be your event. But no one's. That's not an event. That's just. I don't even know what to call it at this point.
I think we
Don't-
can call it there almost. I think we're at 1 hour 50 now of
Yeah.
recording.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Oh wow, that was pretty long.
yeah, that was nice.
So does anyone have anything, any like pressing or urgent point they want to add?
I'm good on my side.
Yeah, I'm good too.
Yeah, same here.
Young, Chief, you
No,
good?
I'm good. Yeah.
Yep. And myself, I have nothing to say except, oh, never mind. I'm not gonna say it. But yeah, I think it was good. We covered everything in
Yeah,
a
we
quite
covered
meaningful manner.
everything. Yeah,
Yep.
I guess the
Concluding
conclusion
remarks.
for me, in general, I love the game. I love the people that I've met through the game. I love the community here, and I guess I just really it all comes down to devs do better, not do more, as Zen said. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of improvements that can be made, and they should make. So, I guess it's just like a matter of will they do it and when will they do it. Yeah, that's all for me.
Nope, I think that was a fairly productive session. Not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
Yeah.
Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you would like us to talk about or what you'd want to know about. I know this sounded quite whiny and quite angry at times, but if there's stuff you want to know about the game, progression, what's the easiest way to progress and not be afraid of Castle 12, the best teams to use in Arena, we can always cover those topics too.
Yeah.
There is a lot of good to be spoken about still. That's the important thing.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. I mean, personally, I just find that it's less about gameplay; it's more about community. Honestly, I think that's what's kept me around. Honestly, without community, I probably just left this thing a while back.
Yeah. Join our Discord
Agreed.
server. Link in the description.
It's free, and if you don't like it, just say "fuck Marma" and we'll kick you.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yes, there we go. I found my avenue. I can die happy.
You guys really just gonna throw in a
You
bully Luvin campaign?
you finally found the right timing. That's nice. That's
Oh
nice.
my
Yeah,
god.
like I did. I tried to say at the start, but it just sounded weird. But then I realized, he'll come, and I was right.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Perfect timing. Perfect timing.
Anyways, yeah. That's all from us.